Hi YouTube, Dominick Izzo with Izzo Tactical Combat Martial Arts. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Thanks for all the emails you guys have been sending me as well too on what you want to see as far as from what we do with Wing Chun and how it applies. This is the Wing Chun versus wrestling video. I did the Wing Chun versus boxing video the other day and actually turned out to be a great response, and I started getting some emails on, well, what would Wing Chun do against, X, Y, and Z? What I want you to know is that these videos are supposed to be fun and more conceptual based than technique based. I don't want to do a video like everybody else does out there and say that, well, this technique is always going to wind up defeating against somebody else. Keep in mind, I'm 5'7", I'm 37 years old, I have a certain amount of experience, I have a background that's extensive in law enforcement and wrestling and Wing Chun. So these are all things that I would do. My job is to sit there and bring my translation of what Wing Chun is based on my history in Wing Chun, in my perception, and to give you ideas on how you can play your game and improve your skills better. Okay, so this is the Wing Chun versus wrestling videos. Keep the comments coming. Keep the email suggestions coming about what you want to see, and we're going to take our time and address everything you guys want to see out there. So thanks much. Thanks for watching the channel, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
All right, YouTube, this is going to be a little bit of the audio commentary for the next couple of minutes on some video I filmed a while ago. These are two high school guys from my old high school that came in. One was a 135-pounder and another was a 171-pounder. And right now, in this particular circumstance, we're just showing them. I'm showing how the wrist jumps out. I'm doing a spinal manipulation along with elbow control. You can see when I pop up again in here too. So right about here, I'm showing how when you actually control the spine and then give pressure and counter pressure. So I'm pushing his spine into his elbow and vice versa. And this guy was bigger than me, a lot stronger than me, a lot faster than me too. I was just showing how when we actually wind up controlling spine and elbow, we could do that. All right, this is going to be where Pakso applies and going forward into a attacker versus out to the side of him. So keeping your elbow down and in and then shooting it straight up and in. So you could strip that wrist off and come straight in, and then I'm going to control him with a jump sao. All right, jump sao is going right in. Jump sao energy is a Wing Chun energy that's actually going to go into your opponent. Oh, it's very forwarding. All right, we got another. What do we have here? Okay, this was just actually keeping the contact and staying relaxed, and how I showed that if I stayed nice and tense and he went to move me, there's my late reaction because I'm tense. But when he goes relaxed, when I go relaxed and I just keep focusing forwarding on him, he moves me and I find my target automatically right away. So he's going to move me and I'm finding my target. All I have to do is place a hand on and keep that forwarding energy going on to him. He moves me, I stay on him, moves me, I stay on him. Because that point of contact tells my body when to move, and I'm going to what I'm attacking versus his arms. All right, what do we have here? All right, this is how I'm showing him how to take that elbow energy and actually keep it up and into him versus coming out to the side for like a duck under per se. All right, let's teach him again how to keep that counter pressure going on. He's a little guy like me, and when we got that big guy, we're going to shoot up and in. This is actually a variation of a carotid artery choke that we have. I think a lot of martial arts have these. I know we have it in Wing Chun if we actually shoot up in there. All right, so I'm going to come up under. My elbow is out versus in. Once my elbow goes in and I actually take his pressure or give him pressure, counter pressure, yeah, he can't control me. So again, too, Wing Chun is not about control, but in this particular circumstance, I was using Wing Chun principles for wrestling. All right, so there was the duck under where I popped his elbow up instead of out to the side, up, and then I came up underneath. All right, so I hope you enjoy the next couple of minutes of the videos. I know I could be long-winded and whatnot, but remember, all my videos are supposed to be conceptual based, and yeah, keep your feedback coming, keep your comments coming, and yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and I want to thank all the people who have been making suggestions so far, and I'll see you on the next video.
All right, YouTube, we're back. Dominick Izzo, and I got Jim with me this time. I got a question from Andrew asking me about. I was wondering if you could do one. About. Shut up. About what you do against tacklers and grapplers. Thanks. There's a great video out there by Ed Dela Cruz, Windy City Wing Chun. Number one, I love the Chicago area Wing Chun. We have more teachers here that are from diverse lineages than are incredible. We have my teacher and my Kung Fu brother. I talk about them all the time. Syed Ahmad and Ryan Parmalee, Eternal Spring Martial Arts. Phil Nearing is out here. Matt Johnson's out here, directly under Ip Ching. Phil Nearing is probably one of the guys who paved the way for Wing Chun Chicago. I have to give him a ton of credit for that. Ed De La Cruz is on YouTube. I don't know anybody who goes into more detail than Ed, so he's got a great video out there for Wing Chun and grappling on there. This is a passion of mine. I started out as a high school and what college I did go to, college wrestler on this. Going back to this again, what you have to remember is that Wing Chun is a striking martial art. If we all talk about that 99.9% of all fights do end up on the ground, you have no business being in a clinch circumstance with a wrestler. I used to love all the time the question is, well, what happens if a guy grabs a Wing Chun guy's wrist? So Jim's gonna grab my wrist, and then the typical Wing Chun answer is, well, a good Wing Chun guy wouldn't let him get to that in the first place. But this does happen on there. And I think, honestly, the issue between grappling and Wing Chun happens a lot because of the misunderstanding of Chi Sao. We had a great guy, Mike Cozio, come in here a couple weeks ago, and he does Tai Chi. And we got a good lesson learned on that. So Mike, he's a great athlete, he's taller than us, and I'll make every excuse in the book. He's taller than us, he's in better shape than I am. He marched us all over the floor when he did the pushing hands, what he did to us. He was rooted, we couldn't move him, and the only time that we actually stood a chance against him was when we actually said, we're gonna stop playing his game and strike. And we did strikes, and we kind of recovered. Chuck Kennedy from Chicago Futsal Wing Chun. It's okay. He basically emailed me and he said, he goes, when you play someone else's game, you come out the short end of the stick. So that's the one thing you got to keep in mind, what Wing Chun is and what Wing Chun isn't. The biggest problem, what Wing Chun guys have with wrestling, is the fact that we try to control them. You have to understand off the bat again what Wing Chun and what Wing Chun is and what it isn't. It's not a controlling martial art form. Okay. The biggest problem we wind up running into lately is we've turned into a Chi Sao culture. I can't fault that. Chi Sao's fun. I love it. It's great. It's great for us older guys who really want to mix it up without going into mixed martial arts, getting our head kicked in. But it can be equated to the stand-up grappling. I'll get flack for that a little bit, I guess I'll say. But it's all about trying to punch. Without saying anybody's wrong, let me have you get an angle here, please. Sure. Christina's manning the camera today. Roger. Christina's my secret weapon. She will be on video soon, just to let you know. Sifu, Philip Redman and Sifu Rashan did a great video on what from their lineage. They're from the William Chung lineage. And they do a futsal, which is engaged and controlling. And what happens is, you can get a little closer, please. Maybe you see this. What happens is when your elbow's down, if Jim continues in energy on me, just by having forward energy, I veer him off to the side a little bit. The only place I disagreed with their video was the application of a palm strike coming in and controlling with jump sao or jut sao to then strike. Well, Wing Chun, it doesn't control, it attacks. The game of Chi Sao is all about trying to find the holes in the Swiss cheese to punch. And the sensitivity that we try to develop, those combat reflexes, if I try to control and Jim steps in or goes to strike, good. Okay, step in and strike hard. Good. I want you to step in aggressively hard. Yeah, by the time I come in to try and control, no matter how fast I am, I got this problem going on. And it is kind of nice. I mean, if I'm nice and relaxed, go. I should be able to do that, right? But that's not what Wing Chun is. Wing Chun's all about developing that slight sensitivity, so when he moves, punch. Why would I waste time doing a 1-2 movement? 1-2. When Jim punches, I punch. That's that Wing Chun. That's what it is. So when we translate that into grappling, this is where Wing Chun guys get into trouble. If you notice, there's a lot of Wing Chun guys out there who transition from Wing Chun into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And if any of you guys know Wing Chun guys go to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for some strange reason, they love it. They love it. They go, oh my gosh, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is amazing. It is amazing for one simple reason. Because they started here and then they progressed to this. I started as a wrestler, which meant that I was used to controlling these hands to get to the body. I wanted the body. I didn't worry about the hands. That was never my game. So when you start there and then come back out to this distance, you ultimately know that the goal is this, not this. Okay, we've all seen Lung Ting talk about that these are fan blades. This is the switch. We're not worried about these things. We're worried about this. So when Wing Chun guys go from this we're here. Okay, we do all these movements. Look at this. Here's my Wing Chun, great. And then they go against a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. We all feel safer here because now these hands can't get affected. Okay, this is what we want. This is where Wing Chun lives. We've become such a culture in Wing Chun where we chase the hands that we forget this is what we're chasing. Okay, I don't care about this stuff. You know, when we do that, I said in the last video, or one of the last videos, that why do 3 movements when we could do 1? You know, Wing Chun is all about finding the weakness in the other person's holes so that we can wind up attacking them. As a teacher, yeah, my job is to give Jim stuff, okay? I'm going to sit there and give him a movement, give him a movement, give him a movement, have him trying to work for the holes. And you see my body position doesn't really change, okay? I sit there and I keep a certain distance from him, allowing him to get these movements in. But my Wing Chun is constantly supposed to put techniques and concepts together. So I find the holes and I move in, find the holes and I move in, find the holes and I move in. I take his space, smother him, and cause him problems. That's the problem. Wing Chun is so hell-bent on this flashy hand stuff and looking good, we forget about our footwork. So to first answer your question, Andrew, which is a great question, by the way, our first point of contact is going to be hands. It's going to be wrists. Guys do grab wrists and bars. It's what are you doing the second that contact is made. By the time somebody gets in here for a takedown, the one thing that you can't see or feel either is what I'm doing. All right? There's going to be no set answer. By the time I got in here, shit happened already, and it's a little bit too late. So Jim is the only one who could feel which direction I'm going. Jim, which way am I pushing my head?
Towards me, into me.
Which way am I pushing my head now?
This way a little bit.
Okay, what am I doing now?
You're coming down.
Okay, his answers are dictated by what I'm doing. So that's the one thing that you really have to understand in Wing Chun. Plus spinal alignment. I know from my personal experience that if Jim were to come in for a takedown, Jim was not a wrestler, so you know I don't need to see any comments about his wrestling sucks because it does. Okay? But if I go to sprawl, my hips are already in a direction to where he wants to take me. Okay? This, okay, I don't know if that's going to work. You know, the guy might have a really thick shoulder, spine, all this crap. Okay, this I don't know, but I do know that I want to keep my structure so that by the time Jim comes down to a takedown, my footwork and structure, this is my Wing Chun. Okay? I'm controlling that head. This point of contact is telling the rest of my body where to move. If I have my hips forward, my energy going into them, I can guarantee it's going to be a lot harder to move. Yes, wrestling, takedowns, all that stuff is a split-second reaction. Nobody's going to sit there and stay in that transition and fight. They're going to move just like we do. But my point is, don't get hung up on the control factor of, oh, you know, here's Chi Sao. I'm going to control the arms, and control the arms, and control these arms. That's bullshit. Okay, if Jim's worried about controlling my arms and we're rolling, hey, there's my deep shot. Now he's in deep shit. Okay, so yeah, I mean he compromised his Wing Chun structure because he lost his center line. So to answer your question, there's no set answer about what Wing Chun would do with a grappler. So what would you do with a grappler? You know, we're both 5'7". What would somebody 6 foot tall do with a nice reach? You know, what's somebody shorter going to do? There's no answer for, you know, what Wing Chun would do for a boxer, jiu-jitsu guy, wrestler. There's no answer for that. So what would you do? The one thing you have to pay attention to more than anything is your structure. You know, in the beginning when we teach people Wing Chun, it's, you know, you learn your movements. And you learn all these drills in the air. We call them air drills. Why am I doing these? Because I'm learning the position, learning my center line, and learning this punch. And it happens every single class. You'll give somebody a Gansao drill. Here, Gan punch, or making sure their structure's perfect, their center line's perfect, their line of attack is perfect, and then somebody throws a punch, and they all do this. Everything goes out the window, because they're worried about them. Well, if Jim is 5'7", I got a guy who's 5'10", a guy who's 4 foot, whatever, I'm the common denominator in every fight. They all have to reach me. So as long as I don't care, okay, I missed that one, right? No, I didn't. That's Wing Chun. And the goal is, once you miss, did you reposition yourself to hit again? That's what Wing Chun is. If you screwed up, missed. But to go back to answering the question about the grappling, same thing applies. What did you do from point A? He comes in. Where does your Wing Chun tell you? You know, and if you, hopefully you will have a shitty grappler like this who's attacking you, because that's going to be really screwed about that. So thanks for the question. It was a great question. Wing Chun versus grappling. Go find some grapplers. You know, this is hopefully a nice day and age where we're all willing to exchange information on there, see what works, see what doesn't work.
And if your Wing Chun doesn't work, there's only one reason. Because you don't trust it, you don't train it enough. It's as simple as that. So for Jim and myself, thank you so much for watching. And keep the questions coming. Hopefully I answered this. Also, little shameless plug in here. This is the Chicago area. I am unbelievably proud to be surrounded by some amazing Wing Chun guys in Chicago. We have my teacher and my Kung Fu brothers, Syed Ahmad and Ryan Parmalee of Eternal Spring Martial Arts. Matt Johnson's directly under Ip Ching. He's an amazing teacher. Ed Dela Cruz. I don't know anyone on YouTube who gives away more unbelievably detailed information. Ed, you're extremely opinionated. I love you. Don't change. I hope if you disagree with me, what are we going to do? I haven't met Robert Bartowski yet, but he's under the NIG school, and they were under Wang Sheng Lung's lineage. I mean, that's fantastic. Steve Chan comes from Lung Ting's lineage. There's so much diversity. And yes, anyone who knows my background knows that my second teacher was Philip Nearing. If it wasn't for Phil Nearing, you know what? Not too many of us in Chicago would really have a position in this, so a lot of credit has to be made for him. And there's some other guys I forgot. Oh, Chuck Kennedy. Chuck, gosh, I'm getting to know him. He's a great guy. He's Chicago Futsal, Wing Chun, and I don't know anybody else in the Chicago area who has that lineage. So if you are in the Chicago area, this is an amazing place for Wing Chun. And all of us have different viewpoints. I'm hoping that my Kung Fu brothers agree with me and disagree with me and put their 2 cents in, because that's the only way any of us develop. So thanks for the question. We'll see you on the next video.